Hey guys, it's JR. If you don't consider yourself with a high IQ, that includes me, well, today's video is about us. Over the weekend, I was at a forum and the keynote speaker was talking about the relevance between IQ and success. It comes out that IQ is not the most important determining factor when it comes to success. Thank God! Instead of IQ, it's execution, the willpower, the ability to carry out a task. I got intrigued by this topic, so I took some notes. I got home and started doing some research of my own, of course on the internet, because I am no expert in this field apparently. But this is what I found. A research article in 2005 written by Angela Duckworth and Martin Seligman from the Positive Psychology Center of UPenn. It's titled, Self-Discipline Outdoes IQ in Predicting Academic Performance of Adolescents. The research in short, they conducted a longitudinal study of a group of 8th grade students, and they did it twice. In the end, they found that self-discipline measured in the fall accounted for more than twice as much variance as IQ in final grades, high school selection, school attendance, hours spent doing homework, hours spent watching television, and the time of day students began their homework. In plain words, when it comes to academic performance, self-discipline is 2 times more correlated with the result than IQ is, which is good news for people like me. A couple weeks ago, I happened to interview a group of students from one of the best girls' high school in Taiwan, and the amount of time they study per day is kind of shocking.
如果上課的時間不算，一天花多少時間讀書
？2到3小時，
大概3-4個小時
，3個多小時
，3個小時差不多
，2個小時或3個小時
，4到5個小時
，5到6個小時
，4到5個小時
，3個小時
，2-3個小時。
That's way more than I used to study when I was back in high school. And that's probably why they're in one of the best high schools and I wasn't. Self-discipline, execution, these play a much heavier role than IQ does in success. Now, you probably have heard of a book that was quite popular several years ago. It's called Don't Eat the Marshmallow Yet. You give a kid a marshmallow, you tell him or her either you can eat it right away or you can wait for me to come back after some time and I'll give you another marshmallow. Some kids just couldn't resist the temptation and they gobbled it up right away, while other kids, they waited until the person to come back and they got a second marshmallow. This is called delayed gratification, the act of resisting an impulse to take an immediately available reward in the hope of obtaining a more valued reward in the future. In the study, while lots of variables come into play, in general, it indicates that children who delayed gratification, they grew up to become more successful in life in terms of income, social status, they had a much lower divorce rate after they got married, etc., etc. However, to add on to this, much of this inclination is highly correlated with the children's economic background. For instance, children who come from a poor family, in general, they tend to go for the quick kill more because in their world, things disappear fast and they seize anything they can get a hold of. Understandable. Luckily, however, delaying gratification can be taught, self-discipline can be trained, and this is the highlight of this video. There are countless gifted, talented people who never live up to their potential. While on the other hand, there are people who are not as privileged, but they make it out there big merely because they work hard. If you've ever been to one of my speeches, you know that I talk about life planning. I talk about pursuing dreams. And 90% of the goals that I've set for my 40-year-old self have been achieved by the time I was 28 years old. I made it clear in the beginning, I'm not a smart person. I'm gonna admit to that. Actually, most of my former colleagues were way smarter than I was. They were way more sophisticated than I was. At some points, to be honest, I felt truly inferior. I felt unconfident working with these truly brilliant people. But if there's one thing that I would give credit to for helping me achieve my goals to this date, well, I would say it's my character. I'm a really down-to-earth person. I set clear goals. I execute them with a very detailed plan. I do slack off occasionally, like most people occasionally do, but usually it doesn't take me long to get my ass back in gear. So self-discipline over IQ, totally agree. It would be better if you had both, but that's not the case for most of us, right? It's hard to raise your IQ, but it's easier to start being a little bit more self-demanding every day. Last but not least, I would like to quote a saying from renowned theoretical physicist Dr. Michio Kaku. He said, "What we have in the brain that is different from animals is we understand time. We understand the future. You can't teach your dog about tomorrow. Animals live in the present." And so Doctor believes that what intelligence is the ability to map the future, the ability to simulate the future. We are capable of delaying gratification, enduring adversity, carrying out our plans in order to realize our visions. And quoting Dr. Kaku again, the meaning of life is self-discovery, reinventing, and recreating oneself. Peace. Last but not least, I would like to quote a saying from the renowned theoretical physicist. Renowned theoretical. Last but not least, I would like to